So I'm going against the tide right now, full throttle. You can see how the water is getting displaced, and look how dry the cockpit is. There ain't an ounce of water in it, even through the scupper hole where you put your transducer if you do the retracts mount. It's absolutely dry. Scupper plug's closed and this whole thing stays absolutely dry. Come on everyone, welcome back to the channel. Well, I just want to do a quick little first impression and walkthrough of the NUCANOE UMAX. So right off the beginning of this, my first impressions of this kayak is absolutely phenomenal. I've been fishing off it now for about 2 hours, and it sits so much higher in the water because you can see the bow flare, how much they improved the flare of this. So you sit higher out of the water. Even though you sit higher out of the water and you already have the 360 seat, it's so much more stable. I can stand up in this thing easy, let me rephrase that, easier than the Unlimited. Yeah, I got mine sitting over here, but you can see the difference of the flare. And even here in the back, this raises up even higher too as well than the back of the Unlimited. Up front here you have the new bow handle, and you can see how actually rounded this is now compared to the Unlimited, which is a lot more pointy. And you got this very thick grab handle, so if you're not running a bow mount, you have a lot more handle to grab, unlike the plastic one that's on my Unlimited. Even though like that little rubber handle I had on, that I have on my Unlimited, I pull this, you know, the Unlimited up with it no problem, and I've abused that handle. Even though it's just a little, like, almost like a rubber strap, this one's a solid piece of plastic. And the reason why is that this is your bow mount plate built right in, and on the bottom side of this there's also like holes already pre-marked for different puck systems and everything else. You just got to drill through the back of this. But so you have your bow mount plate already built into the kayak, and I do like how much more rounded this is than the Unlimited itself. You got your access plate here, and this plate is so much bigger than the Unlimited. Before, you have basically, you just have like a little skinny plate, like basically like this. That's all I used to have up front, and underneath that there was no holes. You had to drill holes. Not a big deal, but you can only drill holes like a hole saw no wider than this plate. Now underneath this access port, it's already open a lot bigger, so I can get my hand inside here and do any kind of wiring that I may need to do. You know, if you have your bow mount or anything you want to do, it's already got a hole in it. Really good gasket on it, and there's also a lip, you know, that comes up that keeps the water from going in it. But once I have my kayak, this is a pre-production model. Once I have my personal kayak, I'm going to do even more in-depth walkthrough and side-by-side comparison. I'll probably leave a link to Tyler's video. He did a good side-by-side comparison with the Unlimited and this particular boat, the UMAX, side-by-side. So I'll put a link for his video. You can go watch that for now. And he went into super detail with that. But like I said, my first impression of this boat is I absolutely love how high I sit off the water, how much more dry I am, even with these performance scuppers, which there's 16 of them. And these you can basically unscrew and keep them, you know, closed. But when you unscrew them, water comes out of it. But being these are all closed right now, and there's 16 of them from front to back, all the way through this kayak, you can see how many there is. These are all closed right now, and you can see my deck is dry. So with these closed, the weight capacity is 750 pounds. You don't need to open these up. Self-bailing is 500 pounds, but you leave these closed, you have 750 pounds of weight capacity, which is super crazy. You can see where my seat is positioned right now, and this is the 9-foot cable for the foot control for the EPS system. I can move the seat back a little bit more if I need a little bit more leg room with the pedal, but I think where it's sitting right now, I think it's pretty good, and I can stretch my legs out. Have my electronics sitting up here like I'm going to do when I take it from the other kayak, and I won't be hitting my electronics sitting on the gear pod, because I think I'm just going to take the gear pod off my old one and put it on this one since it already has the wires in it and everything else. But look how much room you have sitting behind your seat. So there's a lot of people out there that like to run 2 black packs, and a lot of people run the 2 black packs because they use it for a battery box before. But now you don't need to, because you have this built-in gear pod, rear gear pod, which has these heavy-duty latches on it, and you can see it's not even sitting in there, right? You can sit this thing sideways. You can fit 2 batteries in this gear pod that's in the back, the stern pod. And you can see this lip here that comes up, and you have this gasket right here. You can see it's completely dry inside the box. That same concept, basically, that's what I'm talking about with like that lip, is underneath the wiring access port. So you have battery box already. Like I said, you can fit 2 batteries in there. So you don't need to run 2 black packs if you don't want to, or you could put your batteries in there, run 2 black packs if you want, carry, you know, a dozen rods or more, and have all that tackle storage. I run light anyway, I always have. I don't carry a lot on my kayak. You can see how heavy duty those latches are. Same thing here in the back. You have that wiring access port. So right now this has the Newport 300 NK300 on it, and also it's already got the wiring for the bow mount. It just, you know, this is the pre-production model, so they had this all set up when they're doing testing with it down on Lake Lanier. So they got all the wiring in here set up this way. But you can see how nice that seals there, seals the wires right through that hatch. You're going to be really good and set up with this kayak. Like I said, when I do my, you know, when I get my actual model, which I'm going to get the Tundra color, I'm going to do a really good side-by-side comparison. A lot of big other features to this kayak is, you can see I got a rod sitting in here right now. Not really sitting right, but you got your rod protection tips, and I've been running 2 in here. Let me get some stuff out of the way here for you. You could run 2 of your rods, minus having the cup in the way, and you can sit your rods right in here. And you also have the butt holder in the back here for one of your rods if you want. I just don't have it set up right now, but you have that capability. So if you're running this down the river, you know, a larger river, I would say, not a small creek, you can leave your rod stage right here, and you don't have to run a black pack or anything. So you got the capabilities of carrying 2 to 3 rods. I got this rod sitting on this side, and you can see that you got this area right here to rest your reels inside. And this sits underneath there. Like I said, I just don't have it really set up perfectly right now because I've just been kind of running in this as I fish. So you got plenty of room to carry your rods horizontally and have your protection of your rods up front here. Another big thing too is there's 6 cup holders. Let me get a better shot in here. You can probably see from the side. So you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Not saying you're going to use all 6 cup holders, but you could, if you wanted to have six cups, 6 water bottles, whatever. And this section right here, in between those 2 cup holders, holds a Plano 3600 or a 3600 size box. These front cup holders act as a rod stager. So you can stage your rod right in the side of that. You know, if you got caught a fish, you could just stage your rod right there and keep it up out of the way when you're measuring your fish. And when you're measuring your fish, you got the capabilities of running your measuring board on these pads here. It has a lot of same built-in features like the U10. If you have a larger board, you can run them across here, and you got these soft little pads there to rest your board on so it's not so loud. Same thing like all the other Unlimiteds. You have the capabilities of doing the retracts transducer right here in this middle hole and that scupper hole, and that one's always open. You don't put, you know, there's no scupper plug in there. When I've been running this full speed with the Newport, it also, no water comes up inside this scupper anyway. It's kind of like elevated off the water, so it's a little bit different than the Unlimited of the past. This, you can see like the water sitting down inside there, and you can see like there's this much space before it's like, you know, recessed up inside, so it's not even getting water inside this. You'll see when you get in one of these. So you got that thing there, you got plenty of track underneath the seat right there, and you got all this track running back there. And big difference too between the Unlimited and this is these little side 10-inch pieces of track. You got 1, 2, 3, 4. You can see there's 2 of them in front of you. The Unlimited, you had 1 up front, you had 1 behind the seat, and 1 in the back. You got 4 of them here, and 2 of them are in front of you, in front of your seat. So I'll probably be running some track packs like right here, right next to me, instead of having to like reach forward. I could run a track pack here with some tackle in it, and they're straight. The Unlimited has to kind of follow the contour of the boat, so they're kind of sit a little bit of an angle. But you know, with a lot of Yak Attack features, you know, the quick bases, quick mounts, you're able to turn your devices or whatever you have sitting on there. But these sit nice and straight, and 2 of them are in front of you, and even the one behind you sits straight. So everything's running parallel with you on your seat. But you got 4 of those, and look how much room, like I said before, behind this seat that you have to just rest stuff, big dry bags. This would be a great kayak for camping. This will be able to throw like all your dry bag, all your gear behind you, have dry storage there. If you throw a gear pod on it, have all your tackle up front. So you have capabilities of taking so much gear with you, and having the capacity of this boat it's crazy. The length of this boat's 13.6. Your Unlimited's 12.6. Your U10 is that 10.6 or 10.9, right? But that 12 inches makes such a huge difference. It's just crazy the amount of room that you have behind here now. With only adding a foot, how this whole hull is designed. It's only 41 inches wide, so it's the same width as every other Unlimited family member. But it just feels so much more bigger as you go along this. I mean, when I take my son out, I can move my seat back here, have his seat up there. He'll have so much more leg room. I'm gonna have so much more leg room when we do tandem. So this is a great tandem kayak. I know a lot of you out there probably don't do too many tandem setups, but if you're gonna look for a tandem kayak, this is the one that you're gonna definitely wanna have because of the 360 seats, be able to move the seats around, adjust them so much easier. So this boat's heavier, obviously, than the Unlimited. It's 115 pounds. As what they're saying right now. We'll see the final numbers when the production comes out in about a month, but 115 pounds with this seat. So it's not heavy, but there's a lot of plastic here. And being this boat is heavier than the Unlimited itself at 12.6, this boat is so much more faster on the water. It paddles better. And I'm gonna roll to a clip here from the other day when me and Tyler were out fishing. You can see I was running the Torpedo and he had the Newport on this boat, and he was just taking off on me. So right now we're side by side, and I got the Torpedo. Tyler's on the Unlimited Max with the NK300. Are you full throttle? Go full throttle. And you can see how fast he's actually pulling ahead of me. And we're going against the tide right now, so I mean full throttle right now against the tide. I'm doing 3.8. So I figured Tyler's definitely over 4, probably about 4.5, maybe even 4.6, 4.7. So that tells you that it's gonna be a faster boat. And we all knew that because of the length of it. So you can see how much more faster this boat is. So just think about this: bigger boat, more storage, not that much more heavier, and faster, way more stable. The Unlimited stable as it is, the U10 stable as it is, but this thing is just crazy, crazy, crazy stable. And you got to get on it to really understand what I'm talking about. Jump on Unlimited, jump on the UMAX or the Unlimited Max, whatever you want to call this vessel, and you're going to see right off the bat how much easier it is to stand up and not feel a little rocky. Now the Unlimited, I'm super stable on that, but this, I could probably jump up, spin around, do a 360 and land on my feet. You don't feel the boat move. It's just crazy how much more stable it is. Adding that foot and having that 41 inches run probably a little bit longer down the vessel, it makes it so much more stable. This is basically like a piece of plywood floating on the water. So that's just a quick little walkthrough, my first impressions. It's crazy how stable it is, how much more fast it is, how well it paddles. The only thing I see as a downside on this over the Unlimited so far is that the turning radius is a little bit wider. So, you know, this is a big water boat. You can still take it down a bigger river like the Susquehanna or whatever, right? But just keep in mind, it doesn't turn as sharp as the Unlimited would. And one other little flaw I see, which is not really a big flaw, but myself right here with the rod staging going on here, you kind of lose your access to your cup holders. You know, if you're only just doing some horizontal rod storage, having the, you know, the cup holders being blocked is not a big deal. Just maybe keep one side open, but you do lose your cup holders when you have your rod sticking in the way a little bit. But besides that, guys, I really absolutely love this kayak so far. I really can't wait to get mine. And once I get my production on it, my production model, I'm going to do a lot more walkthroughs. I'm going to do a lot more long-term review, long-term testing, rigging, all that jazz. That's it, guys. If you guys have any questions, any comments, I know this is not the best walkthrough video, but it gives you a general idea of what this consists of. There's quite a few videos, well, not probably too many yet, but there's some more videos out there about this, maybe a little bit more in depth of the walkthrough of this kayak. But besides that, guys, you're absolutely gonna love it. If you haven't been in a NUCANOE before, I would suggest grab this one when it comes out. It's a little bit more money than the Unlimited. I think the Unlimited is like $18.99. This is $24.99. Not a huge jump up. I personally think it's worth the extra. Was that 600 bucks? I think it's worth the extra 600 bucks over the Unlimited. If it's a little too heavy for you, I mean, the way we're evolving now with kayaks, I would just get a trailer for it. But this kayak, you can easily put wheels on it, which I'm going to put wheels on it and still transport it in the back of your pickup. I don't see a problem with that. And if you carry a lot of stuff with you, just put it on after you get out of your back of your truck. And then when you load it, before you load it in your truck, just take the stuff off it. I suggest you guys getting this kayak. I think a lot of people are going to be jumping the NUCANOE because of this kayak, and I think it's going to be a big seller. I think people are going to appreciate the stability on this, the speed on this, and the ability, just like every other NUCANOE, to have a wide open deck and be able to customize it the way you want. So that's it. I'm going to stop it there because, like I said, I'm going to do a lot more videos on this. So as always, guys, I appreciate every one of you. Leave a comment. Any questions, I'll get back to you. As always, be safe on the water. I'll catch you in the water or see you from Rice Acres. See you guys soon. Thanks for stopping by.